This was the most deadly and expensive conflict ever. I'm sure I don't even have to read the title of the war. 75 million people died, and it still scars the world today. But how did it begin? How did the fascists get in power? And most importantly, why did Europe let them stay in power? We will explore this in episode 0 of the World War II series we are creating. So get buckled up and get ready, because there's so much to cover in only a short amount of time. World War I started with the assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand by some Serbian nationalists, and Austria-Hungary promptly declared war on Serbia. And since Serbia and Russia had some good relations, and Russia saw this as an act of aggression, they declared war. Germany joined the war with Austria and France with Russia, and when Germany invaded Belgium, the UK joined. In 1917, Russia left due to some internal problems, and the US joined. The war ended and a treaty was going to be signed. The treaty was very harsh to the Central Powers, and in particular, Germany. Another thing to be noted is that Italy, who were on the Allied side, were promised much more than they got. One former socialist revolutionary had left the movement and started a new one. He called fascismo. He started it in 1919 as a paramilitary and was gaining popularity quickly in his nation. And in 1921, he founded it as an official political party. So in celebration, they decided to do something. Have a nice march on the Capitol. See what happens. In the march, 30,000 fascists took part. And then they're like, no, let's do another one where 60,000 fascists took part. And they decided, you know what? Let's talk to the king. And they said, our program is simple. We want to rule Italy. The former Italian prime minister even warned the current one about Mussolini. But he did not listen. The fascists started to, quote-unquote, siege Rome, and on October 28, 1922, King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy handed power over to Mussolini, and Mussolini started to implement more and more fascist policies. The National Socialist German Workers' Party, or better known as the Nazi Party, was not founded by Adolf Hitler, but led by it, and they gained popularity until they were close to the top, when President of the Weimar Republic, Paul von Hindenburg, appointed him to Chancellor. An act then was put in place, not too much later, that let Hitler effectively become dictator. The rest is history, and not in a good way. But let's take a step back here. Why was Germany so willing to have a guy with such hateful and ruthless ideology get elected? The answer is that the Weimar Republic was weak and ridden with debt. So the government thought if they just would print a boatload of money, then they could pay off their debt, right? Well, that didn't work because hyperinflation, which is basically the government printing so much money that is devalued. And since the currency wasn't backed by anything, the hyperinflation was unstoppable. And when the nation is in ruins, debt, and your currency is worthless, people can be pretty subject to extreme ideas in leaders. In this case, not how the Russians were to the far left, but to the very far right. Let us head to Japan, where once again, that Treaty of Versailles led to extreme ideas taking control. That was a really good treaty. Treaty of Versailles didn't recognize many of the Japanese territorial claims, which led them wanting more territory. And in 1932, the Japanese prime minister was assassinated, and fascist military leaders ruled under the Hirohito dictatorship through a coup. And eventually, Japan joined Italy and Germany. Thank you for watching the video. We would love to hear some feedback on our videos. And would you like us to do more series like this? We would love to know. But, like peace in Europe, it must end. We hope you enjoyed. Sincerely,